from Rescue 2. Just please send us a tip volunteer to this location.
Copy, Rescue 2, 1928.
Can you tell me what happened?
My grandpa got sick in the garden and fell down.
Wow, that must have been really scary. What happened after he fell down?
My mommy told me to call 911 on the telephone.
Did you call 911?
Yes, me and my little sister Hannah ran into the house and called 911, and we were really scared.
You did a great job. Calling 911 is a very important thing to do. Are you still feeling scared?
I feel scared and sad. I don't like it when my mommy cries.
Your mommy's feeling very sad too. But it's okay when she cries, when she feels sad.
Is my grandpa going to be okay?
I don't know. The ambulance took him to the hospital.
Can you go see him?
Not now, but maybe later. You want to go see your mommy?
I'm afraid she'll be mad at me.
Why do you think she'd be mad at you?
Because I didn't run as fast as I could when I went to call 911. I waited for Hannah.
I can see why you would feel that way, but I talked to your mom and she told me that she's very proud of you because you were so brave.
The trauma scene you just witnessed is typical of the types of scenes TIP volunteers respond to every day. Hi, I'm Jessica Vining, a TIPTeen volunteer. Wayne Fortin started the Trauma Intervention Program, or TIP, in 1985 in San Diego. He started the program because as a mental health practitioner, he found there was a need for trained citizens to help other traumatized citizens when something bad had happened. The program was developed with the idea that when someone went through something traumatic, they would benefit from immediate emotional and practical support. The idea took off, and all over the country, thousands of people are getting this crucial assistance. In 1997, after comparing thousands of TIP calls, it was discovered that children and teens were often left out and weren't getting the intervention. With some initial skepticism, the first group of teenage TIP volunteers were trained and used to assist on calls where young people have been affected. Since then, hundreds of teens have been trained and are used on calls where youth are in crisis. But before you become a volunteer, there's a training academy you must attend. Day 1. This is orientation day. Here you will learn what the TIP program is all about, decide if you really want to dedicate 60 hours of your time to become a volunteer.
I'm going to answer that question for you tonight from 3 perspectives. First, from the client's perspective, the person you're going to be called to help. Is it worth it from their perspective?
Day 2, victimology. You will learn what people you may be called to help are experiencing. You may even have a story about being a victim yourself that you may want to share. You really need to understand what a victim has experienced and what they're going through if you want to help them.
Sometimes the best way to do that is to bring up our own victim experiences or those people that we've helped and walk through that process. What happens to us emotionally, physically, mentally when trauma enters our life and something bad happens?
This time when we try this skill, Bonnie's going to be the victim and Nicole, you're going to be the helper.
Day 3 and 4. These 2 days are the days where you actually learn what we call emotional first aid, the skills you need to know to help someone. There's lots of role-playing. You may experience emotional ups and downs yourself. Many people do. The fun part is that these 2 days end with funny skits and a game.
Hi, my name's Nicole.
Hi. Why are you here?
The fire department called me to be with you. You want to tell me what happened?
My name is Mark Hansen. I'm a lieutenant with the Portland Fire Bureau, and I'm here today to talk to you about how to work effectively at the emergency response scene.
Day 5 is all about learning to work with emergency personnel like the police and the fire department. This is a great night because there are several really interesting guest speakers.
You need to dress appropriately with comfortable shoes. Don't wear sandals because there will be a significant amount of water on the ground. Park away from the scene and walk to the command area and check in with the incident commander.
You've been so kind. I want you to spend the night with me.
Day 6. We are going to do street smarts and make sure you are aware of how to keep yourself safe. There are boundaries and rules to follow.
See how the no is a straight no. So we don't want to get caught up in saying I don't know or trying to fluff it. That was very good. Can you borrow me $5 to get gas in my car so I can get to the hospital?
No.
All I need is $5.
Sorry, no.
Can you give me a ride to the hospital?
Nope.
Okay, a little curt, but she got the right idea. She got right to know.
Let me talk to you a little bit about what the experience was like walking in a room and finding my daughter dead. It's nothing like what you see on TV.
Day 7, Death Day. Another day of guest speakers, all people who have experienced a death firsthand. The medical examiner will tell you everything you need or want to know about death.
Her eye was part open, and the eyelash, you know, when you sleep on your eyes wrong and it's been mushed all night long, one eyelash was stuck to the top of her eyelid, and she had little sleepies around her eyes, and there was some saliva coming out of her nose, and the smell in the room was odd.
Day 8 and 9, Policies and Procedures. Learn how to use your pager and cell phone. This is the night you will learn the rules.
As well as we'll be getting very specific about do's and don'ts, about what you can and can't do when you're going on a tip call. Tomorrow night also, June will be bringing in the pagers that you've all been anxiously waiting for, and she'll show you all how to use those.
Day 10, Graduation. Your parents, family, and friends can come watch you complete the training and become an official tip volunteer. It seems like a lot of work, doesn't it? You may even be wondering if it's worth it. After all the time you invest as a volunteer, is this a service that's needed or even really used in the community? To answer those questions, let's listen to some people who have used the service both professionally and as a client.
As a school counselor, I found the TIPTeens to be invaluable in a crisis situation. They're just magic at the elementary level. We put them down in the library and the small children walk in and they go right to the TIPTeens as if the adults aren't even in the building. And they're great at the high school level too. A lot of times teens are much more comfortable talking to other teens than they are to adults.
What I have found in reference to TIP volunteers being present at the scene of a death is they have a tendency to take the edge and distract the trauma that's going on, and it allows families to become anchored and receive consistent information and a source to go to that is outside their normal conversation basis.
As a school resource officer, what I've seen as far as a positive impact with the TIPTeen program in my school is that, first of all, it gives the opportunity for the teens that are volunteers to come to the forefront and to be trained, educated, to be in the forefront, basically to be good citizens, community volunteers, giving back to their community. In another way that I've seen is that with the experiences that we've had at the school I am assigned, we have had some accidental and some suicide deaths. And I have seen TIP teen volunteers and TIP adult volunteers in action in our school. The feedback I've gotten from faculty and from the students is that they were a lot more comfortable opening up to TIP teens or to TIP volunteers as opposed to the counselors that normally would be sent from the school district.
The day after my nephew Clayton was killed, they came to the memorial service that was held at Clayton's school. And although at the time I didn't know who they were, it was kind of like angels being around you because they were there guiding and taking care of us that day. I can't really describe what it was that they had, but there was a calming confidence, comforting manner about the teen, and it wasn't overpowering, but it was an absolute comfort. I don't know how to describe it any other way.
The day that Rachel fell, I was at marching band practicing, and she was at track, and I was actually on the track team with her, and she had been racing her best friend Christy, both of which were in my class. And so it was really difficult because the next day I showed up to class and I actually sat right next to Rachel, and she wasn't there anymore. It was much more comfortable to talk to someone my own age, so it was nice because I felt like they could relate. Because adults sometimes have been around people that have passed away more often, and I want to say they're not really desensitized to it, but it's easier. They know how to get over it, whereas teenagers haven't been around as much to experience such deaths. One of the things that teen volunteers were able to do is they showed me that when this happened, the next day you could still show up and everything was still going to keep going. And while things might be a little different, it was still going to keep going. And I wasn't, when you have such a big shock, it's hard to move on to the next step. And they showed me that it was possible, even if you're not a big adult.
As you can see, TIP is a vital tool that can be used to help people through some very emotional times. Being there to assist someone with a calming presence, a shoulder to lean on, or walking someone through what is possibly the worst day of his or her life, you could make a difference in your community. Both adult and teen volunteers are always needed. If you're interested in volunteering some of your time, visit the website at www.tipnational.org or call the TIP National office at 760-724-5143.
As a school and a school district, we were looking at our disaster response plan, and we thought that an integral component to that would be able to have teens have the skills to help our community if we were in crisis. In the class that this training offers is called Disaster Leadership, and that is the reason the students take the class. It's getting quite a reputation for allowing them to learn lifelong skills and make a positive contribution in their school and their community. I didn't have any apprehensions about teenagers learning these skills. In fact, I've been pleasantly surprised at how able they are to learn them and apply them. And I know that because they come back on a daily basis telling me that they're using these emotional skills.
It was kind of like angels being around you because they were there guiding and taking care of us that day.